Little hole turned into a big hole. So I'm rebuilding that right now with the assistance of Trevor and the kitten. Okay. Well, I've done all the beams, grinded them all down. Got windows to go in there and there, and a window combination to go in there. And then it's the floor. Oh, point all the walls, obviously. That's what I'm working on. Welcome to French Property Renovations, and I'm going to talk today about your stone walls collapsing. So yesterday I was kangoing this section and brushing it all off, ready to repoint it, and this section here just caved in on me, all fell to pieces. So we have to go back to the basics here and remember that these stone walls, although they're 2 foot thick, they're full of mud, you name it, and that's how they used to build them. Now, obviously sometimes you'll get water ingress, leaking roofs, leaking gutters, and it washes all the mud away over time, and then eventually the buildings collapse and fall into total disrepair. Acro, by the way, because it's holding the beam up that was being held up by this wall. Little safety precaution. So what I've done today, I've re-bricked it all up, and it's just a few pointers and guides really. The wall isn't flat and it's not perfect. It's not like a brick wall, straight line, perfectly vertical, all that kind of stuff. It's not like that. This is the oldest part of my house. It's 300 years old, and this wall is all over the place. And as is this one, there's bulges, little idiosyncrasies, but that's what gives it the character. So I've rebuilt this. I've got a few stones left over, probably because I've packed a load of more mortar in, but it's half a bucket out of probably just under a square metre, and probably 12 inches recess at some points. So we don't have to worry, and this is my point now. It doesn't matter how much skills you've got in DIY and construction and all that kind of thing. It's about doing it yourself, taking your time, putting the mix on, learning how to do the mix, getting your mortar here, and not being fazed by a setback. Because it feels like a setback, doesn't it, when your walls are collapsing in on you? But it's not a bad thing, because it'll be stronger when it's finished. It'll be done with lime mortar, so any moisture will pass through the walls and we're happy. So don't be fazed by this and just look at it like a jigsaw. You've just got to get the pieces all back together. So I'm looking for the flat stones that were in before, and you can go through your stones, you can work out which were on the front. I mean, for example, here's a stone, it's got a flat front edge, that could be used as a front. This one's a little bit higgledy-piggledy, that's like a jigsaw with 5 pointy out bits. Shove that in the back and build it all up. So these are like your facing brick, and these are like your infill. And if you put these all, the small ones, all in with your mortar, it makes like, not concrete because we're not using cement, but it'll give it more strength if you put the rocks in with the lime mortar. So that's basically what we're doing. So if you look at it here, I've tried to find all the flat ones, the bigger ones, work my way up to this one. This was the last one standing, and this was a big one, and it was like, should we say, like an arch. So when you build an arch, the central stone in the arch is the one that has all the pressure because everything's leaning on it, and therefore it can't collapse. So that one was like my arch, that big one. If it had been a small one there, it'd probably crumbled a bit higher up, even all the way up to the top, you never know. But that one was wedged in. So I've gone over it, pointed it all up, and it doesn't have to be pretty, this, because as we know from our previous experiences, the lime mortar takes a little bit of time to set when we're at this time of year. In the summertime it sets a lot quicker, but it's going to take 2 or 3 days now for this to start hardening up. So that means once it's kind of stiffened up and started its bonding process, it means I can scrape the front out. So I'm going to scrape the front out of all of these stones to about 1 inch, so as it's the same as the pointing, so that when I actually do point this wall top to bottom, it'll all blend in the same. So I'll go over all this and blend it all in with the outer parts of the wall. So little collapses like this, although they're a setback, there's nothing that we can't deal with, and we don't have to be worried, we don't have to be phased, we don't need to get stressed out by it. It's just more work. It just means we've got a day to do this. So that's what we do, and that's the best way to repair it. So don't be phased. If you do any construction, you do any DIY, take it step by step and you'll get there in the end. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoy my videos, and if you do have any questions or anything like that, let me know. I seem to be doing quite well on the time lapses, but I don't know if you're watching them from start to finish. Hopefully you are. But if you'd rather see a bit more tutorial kind of thing, my hints, tips and whatever, let me know, because I've got lots of work to do here. And again, I'm stripping all this room off, and this is the oldest part of the house, and I'm going to have probably a good few days worth of pointing once I get the mixer going and it's all prepared, ready. So I've done one. This is two foot full walls practically ready to go. I'm working along this one now. So in the new year, I think I'll be pointing in this room, and it'll be starting to take on a bit of a homely look, as opposed to a room that had a piece of straw bale for the window. Won't be usable for a while because I need to do the floor and I need to do lots of other things in here, but we're getting there slowly. Take care, enjoy 2024.